Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my Sephora holiday bonus event shopping guide. Sephora reached out to me and asked me if I would like to partner with them for this. I love working with them, and that's why I do so often, because they are a retailer. I'm free to choose what I want that they carry, and they do not censor me. They allow me to even comment on what I perceive to be drawbacks or negatives of a product, where most of the time in videos like this, that would not be allowed. That's because they are the retailer and they're not the brand. So you definitely get a lot more leeway like that. The only stipulation for these videos is that I quickly cover the Sephora Beauty Insider membership program, the event dates, codes, and discount amounts, all of which will be linked below. If you're not already a member of Sephora's Beauty Insider program, you should sign up. It's free. It keeps track of your spending, which earns you points. The points you then can exchange for rewards like deluxe samples, sometimes trips, makeovers, etc. You can sign up online or in-store for free at any time. I'll leave the link below if you're not already a member. There are currently 3 different Sephora Beauty Insider membership tiers, each level earning you additional perks and benefits. It's basically a loyalty program. The more you shop with Sephora, the higher your Beauty Insider level. Each level earning you different perks, like makeovers, head starts to event shopping, trips, gift cards. I know I've traded a bunch of my points in for those gift cards. I hoard them, and then I check on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the rewards, and I get them then. If you hear the pitter patter of little feet, that's my dog. She's up from her nap and roaming around, so you can hear it on the hardwood floor sometimes. She's just about to go to the groomers to get her nails trimmed. Anyway, Sephora's Beauty Insider program is available in the United States and Canada currently. I'll have a link below where you guys can learn more about it. As always, there will be timestamps below if you care to skip around to any certain area. I'm going to break this up like I always do into morning skincare, makeup, the different types of makeup in my steps, and then my nighttime skincare. Full disclosure, again, this did not have to be brand, product, nor price specific. It could be anything that I wanted that Sephora sells. And I am an affiliate with Sephora. Anything that you buy from my links will earn me a commission. Even if you get to the website from my links and you don't buy that exact product, but you buy another one while you're still there from my link, it will earn me a commission. Feel free to go on the website yourself and find it directly. Again, as always, no pressure. I just want to make you aware. The products that were sent to me for consideration by each respective brand will be noted in the description box with a star in case I forget to mention it in the video. I feel like this event is coming up perfect timing because my birthday is on the 3rd and this starts on the 1st. I really don't know how my birthday's already come up, like where this whole year has gone. It's been kind of a flash. Guess they say like time flies when you're staying busy. I was out of the country for all of September if you saw my last video, and then October has just flown by because I was playing catch up from work, and now all of a sudden it's November. I'll be turning 38 years old on Sunday, and I'm excited. Every year gets better. I pull my head out of my butt little by little, more and more each year, and it's a good thing. So yay, I'll get to go shopping for my birthday and save someone, even though I just bought some things and then I found out about the event. I was like, no, that's the worst. Here are the details for the event. If you are Rouge, you're going to get the event available from 11/1 to 11/11. You're going to get a 20% discount. You can use this as many times as you want during the event. In store, just give your phone number or email link to your account if you do not have your card on you or be logged in under your account. You should be able to have the flyer though that you can scan it, but if you don't, if you didn't get one, that's how you do that. At checkout, you're going to apply code HOLIDAYSAVE for the discount to be applied. The same code is going to apply for all tiers this time around, which normally is not how it works. Then from 11/7 to 11/11 is for VIBs and insiders. VIBs are going to get a 15% discount. Insiders are going to get a 10% discount. Again, in stores or online at checkout with code HOLIDAYSAVE. And again, you can use this code as many times as you want in store and online. Brief little legal disclaimer, discount does not apply to taxes, shipping, or other fees. Some limitations apply. See store for details, available in the US and Canada. Now that we've explained all that, let's get on to my picks, and as always, there will be timestamps below in case you want to in the market for just a certain product or categories. As I've been doing, I'm going to put a screen in the side here with all the details next to me like I do, just so I don't miss anything important, like what the price is with the discounts and how much product you're getting and where it's made and it's vegan, cruelty-free, all of that good stuff, just so I can make sure I'm covering as much detail as possible and you guys aren't having to click on pointless links. I have multiple picks for each category. I like them all for different reasons, and I will tell you, so that may help you in deciding what sounds best for you. at the end, there's a couple things that I want to pick up that I'll talk to you guys about that I'm interested in trying. So first up, I do have some new skincare picks. I have some staples that are never going to change for me. If you have questions how I use these, search my channel for my skincare routines. The steps typically always stay the same. The products rotate as the seasons change and as I'm testing products, but my staples remain the same. For the record, guys, I know I've mentioned this in a few different videos. I don't want to repeat every single thing that I've said in previous videos. If I've mentioned those products, they're still a favorite for me because it takes a lot for me to mention something that I like, unless I've specifically said in this that I'm not using those products anymore. So you can go back and look. Sometimes I'll give more depth information about that, and sometimes the products have changed in case you care to look at those. I did mention, if you saw my Instagram, that I am wearing the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I went from like just wearing very minimal eye makeup look to this. So this is probably, I can't even remember the last time that I had like some really bold eye look on camera anyway, so I'll touch on that in a little bit. Okay, so first, morning skincare. Let's talk about cleansers. First up, you guys have heard me talk about this in my last video on my traveling. Because this was a smaller packaging, they do have it available in larger size. This is the small travel size I'm talking about, so the price will be about the normal size. I like this because it does not strip my skin. It's nice and gentle. I put this on dry hands or dry face. I rub it in the morning, and then I use a microfiber washcloth to cleanse it off my face. It really helps prep my skin for the rest of the skincare steps I'm going to follow up with. And again, it does not strip my skin. I think this is good for all skin types. Next up is the Belif Cleansing Gel Oil. I like this too because I typically like jelly cleansers or like an oil cleanse in the morning. I don't want anything foaming, stripping, so this is nice. You just pump a little of this into your hands, rub it around, again, microfiber washcloth off. And again, a little goes a long way because it's an oil. You don't need like a ton of pumps on that at all. And then the one that's newer to me that I talked about in my last video is the Belif Aqua Bomb Jelly Cleanser. I do not like the Aqua Bomb Moisturizer because that is, alcohol is fairly high up in the ingredient list. There's a few different reasons why that could be. A preservative, it does help to penetrate the skin a little more when there's alcohol in there, but again, it can be drying. On my dry skin, it doesn't work for me. It kind of burns and it's not enough. That's best for people with oily skin. This Aqua Bomb Jelly Cleanser I think is good for all different skin types. If I just put it on my hands and work it in, it's good. If I put it on my Clarisonic and I really kind of like make sure that it's wet, I can get a little bit of a lather from it if you like that. But again, remember, the more lather, the surfactant, it lowers the surface tension. It's going to strip your skin a little bit more. So the least foaming you can get, typically the better. But I'd like all three of these cleansers for the morning. They're some of my favorites available at Sephora. The next is the Fresh Vitamin Nectar Glow Water. I really like this. I mentioned it in my last video. This is a non-aerosol can. It is a pump. It looks like it's going to be an aerosol, but it's not. There's no alcohol in here. It's not drying. It's very refreshing. This is the small, like mini travel size. I'm going to tell you what the bigger size is. Although I would have to say, I mean, since it is an opaque packaging and it's airtight, antioxidant, it's not going to break down. But I've been using this a ton, and even for the small size, I still have a lot left. So again, it depends. If you look at the price difference, it might be worth it for during the event to save some extra money. So the regular size of this is $44, and then with the 20 off, $35.20. $37.40, $39.60, and on the large size you're getting 8.4 ounces, and on this one you're getting 3.3 ounces. I love this. After I put a hyaluronic acid on, I tap my face until it gets sticky and I spritz this, and I love this. I bring this on the plane with me because it's not an aerosol too, especially the smaller size, and I can keep it in my bag and just refresh my skin as I need, because I did do a lot of traveling last month. This is also good that if you want to make like your highlight pop, like you can put this over anything, but I really do enjoy this mist and I would recommend it. So you do not need all three of these that I'm going to discuss. I'm going to give you three of my favorite vitamin C serum options. Now, I think vitamin C is one of like my have to have products along with an exfoliating acid. Not everybody's skin can handle vitamin C if they have a sensitivity. Some people do better with derivatives instead of the LAA. So I will touch on that. So the first one up is going to be the Drunk Elephant C Firma Day Serum. I have only this little travel size left. left, which I'm glad I didn't buy the bigger one yet because I'm out. I've been using another one that I'm going to talk about. So I do want to pick up a large one of these because this is one of my favorite vitamin C serums. Again, when I'm testing products, I kind of rotate out a decent amount. I try to keep most staples the same and one product at a time so I can tell what's giving me issues or if I'm actually seeing results. Again, this is one of my favorite. It's in airtight packaging and it's opaque, so it doesn't break down as quickly. But again, LAA is unstable. Anything, if it's mixed with water, it has to have a very certain pH to work. So don't stock up on these, buy them one at a time. And that, when I buy one, it lasts me 6 months, that big bottle, and I use it every single day. I mean, I'm not dousing it in my hand. I put a squirt on, like half a squirt, rub, 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 and you're good. It also will help amplify the effectiveness of the sunscreen that you put on top, which is nice. Then next up is the one that I brought with me on my trip. This is the Pharmacy Very Cherry Bright. I like this one because it has vitamin C, or it has vitamin C derivatives in here, so it's going to be a lot more gentle on your skin if you have a sensitivity to LAA, which I don't know a lot of people that do, but some people do, and their skin will get red and bumpy and itchy, so we don't want that. Now, this one is going to be more stable since it is a derivative, and it also has some hyaluronic acid and things in there, so it's actually like going to help not only brighten and plump, but it's just going to feel really nice on your skin as well. So I like this one, and this one is a little less expensive. Next up is the Ren Radiance Glow Daily Vitamin C Gel Cream. Again, this is like a gel cream. It rubs in. Once it kind of liquefies a little more, it does feel more like a gel, but I typically don't like just a gel moisturizer on my face because it never feels like quite enough if it's alone, but this actually feels like this could function as your vitamin C and your cream for the day. So again, depending on what price point you can use. Next up is a regular staple for me is the Drunk Elephant Behydra Intensive Hydration Gel. I didn't, when I first used this, didn't know how I felt about it. It took me a little bit, and then when I stopped using it, I noticed that I missed it out of my routine. This is not enough for me with my dry skin. My skin is more normal with my skincare, but with my dry skin, and especially in the winter months when it's going to be forced heat, this is not going to be enough for me on its own, but I like to sandwich my moisture, so this is good after I go on with my vitamin C's before I go in maybe with one more, like a treatment or a slightly heavier moisturizer. If you have oily skin, this may be enough for you. And again, I was thinking, like, can I live without? I have so many. This is just 2 of the empties that I have right now because I use this every single day, and I really, really enjoy this. Next up is the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. I love this cream. This is, like I've mentioned it a million times, this is like a protein shake for your face. It's chock full of amino acids. It helps give my skin that bounce. I do have just one more empty. I need to go through and do a whole empties video because I have a giant box, but this one I just recently kicked. I like the packaging on here. It's airtight. When you push it down, the product comes out, so there's nothing really to oxidize out or to even waste or contaminate it by dipping your finger or whatever you're using in and out of it. I really do like this, and this is the heaviest moisturizer I've been using. Actually, I lied. I do have one more. So again, these are products that I use and I go through often. Since my moisturizers are heavier at night, I find that in the morning when I wake up, my skin has really like drank it all in. When I go on with these other steps, this is enough for me, and then I go on with my makeup, because if I go on with a heavier moisturizer in the day, my makeup is going to slide around. Just think of it like wet paint. If it can't completely dry down, it's going to be more susceptible to slide around. So always during the holiday, Drunk Elephant does come out with kits. I'm going to link the page to the kits below. The one I would get would probably be the MIDI committee. You just have to look at the products that are available in there, and then you'll see what the individual product price is and what the value is. They normally have some really amazing deals in their kits. Typically don't care for Drunk Elephant's the TLC or the baby facial, just because they're glycolic and it's a little too aggressive for my skin, and at the rate that I do exfoliate anyway. Some people do excellent with glycolic. It really is the gold standard for AHA chemical exfoliation. I prefer lactic personally, just because it's better for dry skin. It's a natural humectant. It helps attract moisture out of the air and into your skin, and it's a larger molecule. It works more on the surface than as deep as glycolic can go, which really just tends to dry me out and give me bumps. People with oily skin probably will do excellent with it, and people that haven't exfoliated as much or use retinols probably won't have a problem with it either. So I'll just leave a link to the holiday kits on there, and you can kind of search through and see what would work best for you. Now my cat is attacking the dog. One more product. This is going to be excellent for those of you with oily skin that is not sensitive, because there are some essential oil products in here which could cause irritation for your skin if you are very sensitive. This is the Origins Ginseng Gel Moisturizer. I tested it on my normal skin and I liked it, and I also gave it to one of my friends that has oily skin. It does have a nice, light, pleasant scent, but I feel like this is very nice. It has some caffeine in it. It is, again, oil-free, which is not a selling point to me since I have dry skin. I want oil typically. But it definitely helps, like, plump your skin, helps get rid of, like, puffiness and the ginseng. All of that really just, like, kind of, quote-unquote, energizes your skin. But it just kind of helps take away puffiness and kind of gets, like, blood flow to the skin. I actually really enjoy this. Not on my skin in particular. Like, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to buy this, knowing again that word gel moisturizer is like suspect to me. But those of you with oily skin, I think this will be a great buy for you. And I did check online and it does have great reviews as well. Next, in the winter months, as we're coming out of summer, you're going to want to have more hydration typically. Your skin tends to be a little more sweaty. There's a little more moisture in the air, humidity in the summer. So I don't typically moisturize as heavy as I do in the winter. So I would put on an oil after one of those, or the Proteini. I would either use the Youth to the People, the Maiki and Acai Prickly Pear Goji Super Berry Hydrate and Glow Oil. I've already said these names. Jeez Louise, they're so long. Give me something named like I said, Pam. Steph. Can we have a Steph? Like something that's just easy for me to say. I do love this oil. It's more of a dry oil. It's pretty much fast absorbing. And it does give a beautiful glow to the skin. It's not too heavy. I think this will do well on those with oily skin or those with dry skin. Remember, a little goes a long way, and then you can see just the difference on my hand there, where this one looks more moisturized than this, even though I did put that other thing on there earlier. It's packed with antioxidants, and it's really going to give your skin that nice glow. And if you like to wear like a more matte foundation or even a natural matte, this is really going to help underneath your makeup kind of spread. And again, we're sandwiching moisture, so that will be the last one that you'd want to put on to kind of lock that in before you go on with your makeup. I find with all my skincare steps, I no longer need primer. I will use that Tarte one to fill in my piercing scars sometimes, but otherwise. And then the next one I would use during the day is the Herbivore, the Emerald Hemp Seed Oil. I did get the one with CBD as well to try. The CBD one is a little more expensive, and I just find that I prefer the hemp seed oil one. I didn't, I've read up about the benefits, pros and cons of CBD oil. I was curious how pure they were sourcing it. A million questions I have about that, especially in this emerging market where that's become such a buzzword and something that people are putting in a lot of products. So I do prefer this one. This one is, again, another fast absorbing oil. It will give your skin just like this beautiful glow. It's really gentle. It shouldn't cause any irritation to people, again, unless you have a sensitivity to hemp. Next, I don't have here with me, just because I do test so many products. You guys have seen me have it in other videos and discuss it, but since I do try so many products, I try not to waste anything. So if I have a friend that's having like skin conditions or anybody that I know, I will pass some products along to them after I've tested them for at least a month, just so I can make sure that I'm not having stuff sit around and age out and waste it. So that's what I do. So I did give this product away to one of my friends that was having like terrible rosacea and just like a lot of like tons of surface dryness, and that product really helped. I find the Ren Evercalm line in general really helps those people with sensitive skin and rosacea especially, but the Ren Evercalm Day Cream, I really enjoyed that. I think that will be great for, again, sensitive skin, and especially coming into the winter months. Their whole Evercalm line is really good. Last in the morning skincare routine is going to be sunscreen. So the two favorite that I have is going to be the Josie Maran Argan SPF 47. I like this because it is an SPF, but it is housed in like an oil-based moisturizer, which I typically don't like my sunscreens and my moisturizers mixed because I feel like it doesn't do any one of those very well when it's trying to do both, because the sunscreen kind of sits on top of my skin for the physical sunscreens. I prefer when I really need the moisturizer to kind of drink into my skin. This is one of the exceptions. This is probably the only exception that I really enjoy this, and especially in the winter, it's very nice. Don't forget, you need sunscreen every single day. especially too in the winter, people make the mistake of thinking you only need it in like really sunny days or in the summer or maybe spring. I had the worst sunburn of my life in the dead of winter while I was snowboarding. The sun was reflecting up off the snow too, and I looked like a burnt chicken. So that wasn't fun. So make sure you're just wearing it all the time. And the last one is going to be the Ren Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30. The FDA does recommend at least a 33, but this is something that if I'm not outside all day, I put this on underneath my makeup. It lays very nice. If you are deeper toned, I think that this will put a cast on your skin, so I would recommend going into store and getting a sample. In my last video when I showed you the products that I packed while I was traveling, I demoed this for you, and you can see where it kind of like has a little bit of white cast, and then as I rub it in, it goes away. But for those of you with deeper skin, I think that that might be an issue with you, or this one won't be. Now let's talk about foundations. So this has been one of my favorite foundations for such a long time now, and I'm so surprised. You can see, well, I just shook it around. I have 3 of these. Again, you've heard me talk about them before. I have them in my natural color. This is my spray tan color, which is 2.4, and then I have one in between, so as my spray tan fades, I can mix the 2 of them together and get whatever perfect color I need. So I have my base, the deepest, middle, and then I can mix accordingly, and I can have all my bases covered. I love this foundation because I don't normally like mattes, but this is what they're calling a natural matte, which I'm still getting some glow. I have no highlighter on today because my eyes are so intense. I just didn't go on with a highlighter. I try to keep my face makeup more minimal when my eyes are so intense, and same with my lips. So the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation, I really, really enjoy. I can't say enough good things about it. It has been reformulated, I think, within the past 2 years. So if you tried it way back and you didn't like it, this could be a good option now and again. I would go in a store and get matched, because otherwise trying to pick the shades, they're available in 40 shades. It can be kind of confusing. Next, I talked about this product in my last video as well. This is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is not available in a ton of shades, which again, I wish they would expand it. But this is really easy. It goes on beautiful. This looks beautiful on the skin. The wear time on this, I get about 3 to 4 hours, and then it starts breaking up in areas. So I use this if I'm running errands, or if I don't need a whole lot of like long-term wear out of something. I can't put this on and work an 8-hour day and my makeup will look good at the end of the day, unless I have like a sponge with me and I just briefly touch up. But this otherwise is amazing for wearing for short times. Next up would be the Hourglass Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tint. Again, I like more moisturizing foundations in general, but especially in the winter. This does have hyaluronic acid in there, which will help moisturize your skin. This will not be good for those with oily skin. I don't think this will be good for oily skin either. I think this is good for all skin types, except for maybe extremely dry. But these will be good for normal to dry skin, both of these. And then the last one, I had talked about this in my last video as well. This is the Natasha Denona Face Glow Foundation, one of my all-time favorite foundations. You watch me demo in there. I have to paint it on with a brush and then go in with a sponge and push it in. If you go on with a brush and swirl it, you'll get streak marks in here because it's almost like a pudding, like a gel or a pudding consistency. And again, they last a long, these foundations last me a long time, so I'm happy with it. You don't need to go on with a ton. I find the best course of action for myself is to go on with a light layer of foundation and then spot conceal if I need any spot concealing anywhere else, or I just color correct the darker circles underneath my eyes, which actually filler helps with that too, so. My favorite brush to apply that, which I just used so you can see it kind of needs to be washed, is this is the Makeup Forever brush, the 408. It is literally like a painting brush. It's normally flat, but again, it has foundation on it. I just paint it on and then I stamp it on with, again, a sponge, and I really, really enjoy that brush. Brushes make makeup more fun for me. I never really realized how important brushes were until I really started diving deeper into them, and they make a world of difference. Next, I have 3 concealer picks. The first one is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The only thing I don't like about it is look at this packaging. It gets so messy, and I'm not like a messy person, but I have to wipe it off or a lot of product comes out and it just kind of gets messy. So I just have to take like either a paper towel or something around this every so often, because then as it starts to smush, it can make a mess in my makeup bag. That's the only drawback of this product, but I love the way it blends out. I love the way it wears. This is more moisturizing than the other 2 I'm going to talk about. Again, I feel like that's a good pick. Next one would be the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. I really like this. This is in my deepest color when I am the darkest spray tan that I have, and I wear this in shade 4N, and I'm sorry if I didn't mention it. In this one I am in light beige. I like the way that this blends out. I feel like it's beautiful. I don't think that you're going to get as much coverage though as something like this one. So again, it depends on what you're looking for. The last one is the Natasha Denona Transfit Matte Concealer. This concealer is nice. You just have to work one side at a time. If you put drops of this on your eye and then you go out to blend it, by the time you hit this one, it's going to already be dried down. So again, anything matte is going to dry. So you don't want it to be wet forever. So I do one eye at a time, blend it in, or you can do two if you do it very quickly. I love this concealer. I used it when I was in Europe a lot because it does not transfer and it did not budge. If you have extremely dry under eyes, I don't think this is going to be for you. Normal to oily skin, I think that this would be excellent. I'm in 10N, and this is when I'm in between spray tan shades. I think this is one that you're probably going to have to go in and be matte, color matched in store. Otherwise, it can be a bit confusing with the undertones. Now let's talk about brow products. These Hourglass brow products have been just my favorite. I've been using these every day and I haven't really looked back. I feel like I get a lot of use out of them. The first one is this one I use the most. This is the Arch Brow Pencil. It's one of those like triangular tips. It's really quick for me to fill in my brows and for them to not look like I Sharpied them on. Maybe some people are like, no, it looks like you Sharpied them on. That's fine. I don't think it looks like that. I do like this bigger one. There's a spoolie on the other side. I don't really use the spoolies on the other side. It depends, but I prefer to have a separate one. I also like these. These are the micro ones. Now, depending on how you like to fill them in, some people like to be more precise. I like this in a lighter shade in the front here to draw up the little hairs. So I use a dark brunette and then the soft brown in the front if I want, or I can use the dark brunette all over everything now that I have my base back down to pretty much my natural color, minus some grays in there. Who even knows what my natural color is anymore. And then my favorite brow brush product, I've talked about this a million times. This is the Makeup Forever 272 brush. This is synthetic. I love blending my brows in with this because it's such a deep spoolie. It really works the product in, and I've said a million times, you'd think like, what big of a difference could a good spoolie make? A good spoolie, certain pencil sharpeners, brushes make all the difference to me. So I love that brush. And then the last brow product that I've been using nonstop is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I love this product. It doesn't make my brows crunchy. It doesn't give them like that white cast that you can get. I like it that the brush is deeper on one side and thinner on the other, and it even has this little ball in the front if you really need to get up close. I do like this product and I feel like it lasts a long time. I still have that one from Desi's kit, but I did have another one that I went through as well. Next, we're going to talk about contour products. I mean, again, these pretty much stay staples for me. The Fenty Matte Matchstick, I feel like, is one of the best contour products for those of you that are light and fair skin. This has like a gray undertone to it, which is supposed to mimic a shadow where you don't really want warm. If you are extremely warm undertoned and fair, this could look odd on you. So you might want to go with a slightly warmer, even though it's supposed to be a shadow. If you put something completely gray on very yellow skin, I think it can sometimes read odd. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a professional makeup artist. You can tell me to shove it up, you know. I love this matchstick. It lasts forever. There's so much product and I've been using this forever. When I'm my natural skin tone and even a little darker, like once the spray tan starts fading, I really like that. And then the last one is the, you've heard me talk about this a million times. I'm wearing it today. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the light shade. Again, I've talked about it. I love the product in here. The packaging sucks. I hope they change the component on here because you kind of really have to squeeze up. It almost feels like the tube is completely empty, which they'd be better off just giving you a smaller tube and working with it because you are getting the amount of product that it says in here. It just feels like it's empty. When they talk about the amount of product you're getting, they're not talking about the capacity or the volume that the container will hold. It's talking about the amount of product you're getting in here. So I do like it. There's this little on and off, like you switch it like this so you can squeeze it up and then turn it off so you're not like squishing the product out and wasting it. I really just wish that they can change the component on here because the product blends like a dream, so I'm willing to put up with that annoying packaging. But in general, I like that. And then if I had to pick another one, I did, again, give it away just because I wasn't using it as often. Some people prefer to powder contour, and I love the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powders in any of the shades. But if you're my shade or lighter, light is good. And if I have a spray tan like this on, or a little, if I was a deeper, maybe the medium, but I still prefer the light. I'd rather go on and just like have a little, because I already have naturally high cheekbones, so I don't want to look like this. That's not a good look on me. So I don't want to wear anything that is just too intense. Now let's talk about bronzers. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. As you can see, I've used the life out of it, so you can see it from the side. There's a deep hole in there. This one, if you like a more natural highlight, would work well for you. I typically don't, so if you're not going to use that, you do have to factor in the price that maybe just that bronzer. But I like this. I thought this wasn't going to be dark enough on my skin, and I actually have it on today, even with the spray tan on. I think it's nice and natural looking, and this is in the lighter shade of the two, the fair medium. I do really like this one, which I will continue to purchase. And then the next one would be the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette. Now here you're getting a cream product, and then you're getting some highlights as well. I love this bronzer. It blends in very nice. It is extremely pigmented though. Just a small little tap of your brush and go in light and build it up. Most of Natasha's products are extremely pigmented, and a light hand is better, or it can get circus clown real quick on you. So just tap it in, but again, it's really smooth. It blends in really nice. I enjoy it. And then if you really want to splurge on a bronzer, these Tom Ford bronzers are beautiful. I use it in the Terra color. I love these. It is really pretty, but again, they are expensive. So if you want to use your discount for them during that event, it's good. And I think that should last you a lifetime. I've had mine so long, and I don't ever go through them all. Next up is for blush. I only have one blush pick. This is my Hourglass, my all-time favorite Mood Exposure blush. I have completely hit pan on this, and this literally took me years. This says you're only supposed to have it 12 months. I've had it way longer than that. Nothing weird has happened to it. I always sniff, make sure everything's cool. I don't get any kind of moisture in there really. But this is my all-time favorite blush. I think all of these blushes just blend out beautifully on the skin. It just depends on which shade that you like. Again, this is not a blush. I've said for a million times, if you rub your finger on it and you put it on your hand, it's going to look chalky. I'm wearing it today. It literally goes on and it looks like airbrush. You need an even swirling of the powder and the ambient lighting blush in here. So it's best if you use a brush and have a sales associate put it on you so you can see what it looks like before you determine, because otherwise I would have been like, oh, who's wearing those? But it is my all-time favorite blush. They are expensive, but they do last a very long time, as I've mentioned, and I use the life out of that. Next up is for highlighters. I only chose one. I chose the Natasha Denona Super Glow. This is in the shade 2. I mentioned to you earlier that I do not have a highlighter on, so I'm going to show you. It may be a little much with my eyes because my eyes are intense, but just to show you how intense these are without being glittery. So you can see, I mean, I do have a dew to my skin now, but when I put this on, do you see the difference? And again, that's with, there's no glitter on that. I just love these. I think they're beautiful. If the fair one is too icy on me, the second one is perfect. I do prefer more pink to nude tone highlighters more than yellow. Yellow makes me look like I have jaundice. It just doesn't complement. I'm neutral, but I'm leaning on the cool side of neutral. So I prefer on my own skin anyway, like that. And you do get a lot of product. I think that will last you a very long time. Next up for eyeshadow palettes, I would recommend some of my favorite brands. Anastasia Beverly Hills are my favorite. I would recommend to you getting the Soft Glam or the Modern Renaissance palette. I like both of these palettes as more wintry months come or fall. If you guys have been watching me for a decent amount of time, you guys know that I prefer like a very warm or rusty smoky eye. It's some of my favorite reds and oranges and rust tones. I love this palette. I've been through 2 Soft Glam palette. I feel like this is a great everyday palette. You can do some more smoky and even like a gold smoky eye looks. You can stick to very neutrals, and you do have some versatility in here to do more adventurous looks if it's not I mean, not like this, but depending on what you're comfortable with. I don't know as many people that would be as comfortable walking out of the house with eye makeup like this as they would with this. So I feel like this is a safe bet where you're gonna get more use out of something that is neutral than something that is completely over the top. Typically for most people, again, some people have jobs that they can wear whatever they want to. Those of you that have been asking me, I mentioned on my Instagram stories, I haven't done any dedicated palette reviews in quite some time. Mostly, number one, because I was getting a ton of people telling me that the videos were too long, or the people that were actually watching them, it wasn't a large enough chunk that I was just thinking, okay, maybe people aren't interested in those. So I kind of stopped doing them. And then I was wearing more like neutral or minimal eye makeup looks, so I'm not going to review a product that I haven't been testing regularly. Like I'm not just going to swatch it and then tell you what I think about it. I need to try all the colors out and use them for a while before I'll tell you what I think of a product. So I do have like the bigger Norvina palettes up. I have started a demo or testing a lot of these, but not enough where I'm comfortable to give you my final opinion on those yet. So if you want one, I have all 3 volumes. It's that would be intense to do all at once. But again, if you guys are interested in those, as I mentioned, I will start to get back to do dedicated palette reviews. I have seen you guys a decent amount of requests for those, so I will do those. I just thought everyone was sick of watching them, so I was like, okay. I have a lot of eyeshadows I like. My 3 favorites are ABH, Viseart, and Natasha Denona. The next ones I would recommend, as always, are the Viseart 12 Pan Pro palettes. I love the neutral mattes. This is my like 3rd one now. I've gone through quite a few of these. This is my everyday palette. I cannot travel or live without this, really. I actually surprisingly didn't take it with me while I went away for a month because I didn't bring any eyeshadow because I just didn't want to do my makeup. Neutral mattes, you can use this to contour with. You can use this basically for anything. If you are deeper in skin tone, you're likely not going to get a whole lot of use out of maybe these first or last 3 shades in this top row. You can mix these all in together, but I think the dark mattes would be better. This would be more versatile for deeper skin. I love all 3 of these are my favorite. This also is the warm mattes one. Again, this speaks to me, especially I don't really wear this in the summer. I wear these in like the fall and winter. I mean, there's no rules in makeup. Well, there are some rules, I think, in makeup when it comes to like hygiene anyway and things. But I mean, you can wear whatever you want when you want, but I prefer to wear like deeper warm tones in the like more sweater weather months. So I would get one of those, especially because the way I look at it is while you have a discount, you might as well buy the more expensive things because your savings is going to be more substantial than the lower priced items. The reason I love Viseart's mattes is if I pick them up and swatch them, like I would just rub with my finger and rub against my hand, you'll get an amazing color payoff, but it does not feel what I would describe as creamy. What I like about them is they have some grip. I pick them up with a brush, I place them down in my eye, and they pretty much stay there and they blend. I can go in with another color and they do not muddy together because their mattes are not, they don't contain like silicones or anything like that that's going to make them slip together and muddy together and make a gray. So I appreciate that with them. If you were to walk over and rub your finger in this and then say maybe like one here, you're going to feel a difference. These are going to feel what people are calling creamier. But again, I find that even though I love both of these, I get longer wear out of this than I necessarily will with this. And I love these mattes. I've never loved mattes as much as I have from Viseart. Now onto the Viseart Grand Pro palettes. Now this is volume 1. I have a video about this. You guys can search my channel on it. I've talked about this a million times. This is pretty much almost every matte that I would ever need, besides some brights, which I'll touch on in a minute. Now this Grand Pro, I have it in the original launch packaging that came as what they're calling like a library collection, which looks like kind of like a leather bound book or something. So this was at the $175 price point. People asked, this was limited edition at the time, people asked them to bring it back because they loved it so much, so they did make it core. They changed the packaging where it's not that limited edition packaging, and the price went down to $150. So your packaging, if you buy it, will not look like this. It just kind of looks like this, I think. I don't think it has a sleeve or anything or a cover on it. And then that might be the original gray now. Not quite sure. And then the third one that they came out with, I've really been enjoying. These are more bright colors. It's kind of like a mixture of really like the editorial colors. And then some people were asking for greens and other things like that. This is really just like, it reminds me of a color wheel looking at it. I really enjoy this one too. Now this one is more expensive because you're going to get it automatically in that, and it is limited edition. So once these are gone, unless people have a high demand for them, because these cost a lot of money to make, so they can't have all of their money tied up because again, they're a smaller company and they have people's families and things that they're responsible for. So they don't want to overextend themselves, tie them money up in product that's not selling. So this one is $175, where this one now is $150. Again, it will not look like this from there. So I'm going to show you the savings on both. You're getting 2 grams of eyeshadow in each one of these, 30 different shades, 60 grams of eyeshadow. That is a ton of shadow. I know that the price looks intimidating, and I'm not discounting that at all because it is an investment. But if you wear mattes and or everyday colors like this, the Grand Pro Volume 1, there's not a look in here I don't think that you can really do for like everyday or even like smokier looks. If you want more editorial colors, the Volume 3 is going to be good for you. Some people already have a bunch of neutral palettes, so maybe you want a palette of just really nice pigmented, really nice brights, which I like those for. Now, some of those you will feel a little more grit to them, and that just has to do with the amount of pigment that are in there. They're more pressed pigments instead of what I would call like an eyeshadow. Next, the only one I'm missing, I love the edit palettes, is I don't have the dark edits. I don't know where the heck it is. I can't find it for the life of me. I got a new assistant and we've been organizing my work sample closet, and then just like some PR stuff that I have to kind of go through, and I have no idea where it is right now. It was kind of like a free-for-all. So I like the Rose Edit palette. This is beautiful. This is going to be, again, this is playing a lot more safe. You're not going to get a huge range of versatility in here, but it is beautiful. The warm edits I really like. I love this palette, again, because I love these burnt colors, rusty colors. I think you got a lot more versatility here. Yellow seems to be a trending color right now. You get that in there, and it's not an overpowering yellow. And then also the dark edits is beautiful. Again, you guys can feel free to check online for other people's opinions and reviews on those too, but they tend to be excellent just because the shadows are excellent. I was never a fan of their shimmers. After they came out with the Grand Pro Volume 2 palette, I loved all those formulas. They've kind of carried that over into these, what I'm gonna call consumer palettes, because while these are pro palettes, these are 2 grams of shadow per palette, or per pan. Not everyone needs as much. So they were trying to make more approachable cost palettes for retail and consumers, so you guys can dip your toes in and see what you like there. And then I love the Viseart, the Libertine palette. I like Golden Hour too, but I love these colors. It's a unique mix. I've used this before on camera. I enjoy that. You just have to search my name and that palette. And the reason I say that, I know I should just link them below. I run out of space in my description boxes, so I can't link everything in there, so I don't want to tell you and then it not be there. Next is a palette I'm wearing on my eyes today, which again is one of my favorite eyeshadow makers. This is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. The only complaint I have about this is my mirror, as soon as I opened it up, it was like, bing, fell out, which I was like, oh man. I did get this in PR, so if I did purchase this, I would have returned it to get a new one. I did look online, and I didn't notice anybody to be complaining about that too. Like, I don't even have a little glue dot on here. So the problem is, I mean, whoever's making the component should be checking, but if you put too much glue, it starts to have a scent to it, but I don't even see any. So my mirror popped out of there. If I bought it, I would have been irritated and returned it, but otherwise for a new one, I love these shades. It's what I'm wearing on my eye today. So I have this shade kind of like as a transition. I used this shade right here to kind of like blend out. Okay, let me explain this too. First, I feel like her palettes work best for me when I lay down a transition color and then I work backwards from the more intense ones up, and then I go back in with that transition color and blend them out. Otherwise, I feel like where I normally go from lightest to deepest, sometimes that messes with me with her shadows because they are so pigmented. I need that lighter shade to help blend the edge of the other one. If that makes any sense. So I'm going to show you. So this was in the PR kit that we got from there. This is the look. I mean, mine does not look like that. First of all, this lady has straighter brows than me, different eye shape. I'm not Natasha. Natasha's known for heavier eye makeup looks like this. So I just kind of wanted to try to see if I could do that. I I like it, but it definitely doesn't look like that. I use this shade as a transition. I use this color because I thought originally looking at this picture, I thought that that's what this was, but this was actually lighter. And then this one looks like a black, but this is actually what you see in the majority of the eye. It's not. And then I went in, this is the shade that I used to deepen up out here. Then all I did was put a glitter glue all over my lid, and I went in with this bronze right here. I'm just covered there. I had done the same thing on the bottom here. I'd smoked these out, and I tried to do this little thing that she has. I know some people are gonna be like, that's annoying me, like where she kind of like dipped it down here instead of going all the way like just up to the lash line. So that's what I did. I don't know how effective I was on that, but you know, it's all a learning experience. And yeah, so then I went back through and I blended that out on my inner corner. I have this shade right here, and then I went in with this shade and I brought it down a little bit and into there, and then I just lined with black liner, and that's pretty much it. I love this palette. I feel like you'll get a huge range of versatility in here. You can do neutral looks if you want, because you do have some of those browns and even some of the rusts, and then like you can put a shimmer all over your lid, or you can do more intense eyes like this and even red and orange ones. You have blue. I just feel like you get a ton of versatility. This is a limited edition palette. I would pick it up. If your mirror does come out, get a new one. I love her shadows. They blend so beautifully, and her shimmers, no one makes shimmers like Natasha. Her shimmers, hands down, the best. They are expensive, but they're the best. Now again, you don't need all these palettes. You don't need anything I talk about pretty much, but depending on what your palette is and what kind of like versatility you want to get. The other one I would get would be the Natasha Denona, the Sunset palette. This one again, because I love these kind of colors in the fall and winter months. Again, they're all really good. The Chroma Crystal formula in these is kind of kicked up a notch too, where I was getting a ton of fallout. It's still not my favorite formula of all the ones that she makes. There are those ones that are a little bit more sparkly. I get a lot of fallout. I find her palettes typically I do best if I do my eyes first. Like today I did my eyes first. Then I went on with my foundation, which is normally opposite of what I do. And then if you wear a lot of neutrals, the Biba palette is good. My black completely cracked and fell out, and a couple other people commented on some other of my videos that theirs did as well, so that seems to be a common underlining problem, maybe. I don't know if everyone's is doing that, but otherwise everything's intact. You can do some beautiful neutral looks with this, and again, look at this. You know you're not going to get a huge range of versatility. You'll be able to do some smoky eyes, as long as your black doesn't break. Brown looks, again, some kind of like mustardy, smoky looks, but you're not going to be able to do things like this. So again, it depends. Some people, again, this palette to me is the best money spent because I use this the most. I can pair this with other bright palettes. I can wear this every day for work. It may look boring, but I get the most use out of boring because I can't wear stuff like this to work, or people will be like, are you feeling okay? Or did you just sleep in your makeup from last night? Next would be the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I love this palette, and this is $65. You're getting less shadow. So she basically took this and cut it in half, cut the price tag in half as well. So you're getting less shadow in here, but again, it makes the cost more approachable to people that might be like, I'm not willing, I don't want to spend all that money. You're getting 15 shades in here. It's cruelty free, and I love these colors. I feel like you can do a decent amount of looks in here. And then for the last palette that I would recommend for her, if you are someone that wears neutrals every single day to work, I think this is an excellent palette for you. It's 5-pan palette, especially with the discount going on right now. You see in here you're not going to get a huge range of looks, but you can do really simple 3 shadow looks and you're out the door. Perfect to me for work, and again, everyday use if you don't want to be doing stuff like this. Talked about this a bunch. The Urban Decay Grindhouse, all-time favorite pencil sharpener. You may think what the difference a pencil sharpener makes, but until you've used a good one, you don't know. This one perfectly sharpens my pencils. It does not eat a ton of my product. It doesn't just keep sharpening it until like a dull point and all my product goes away. I love this. There is a spot for a small and a big pencil. And when you open this, oops, yeah, you can tell I use this. Oh man. There's this little stick in here that you can pull out and help clean those out. I love this pencil sharpener. And this is an old one. The packaging has changed, but again, I don't use a ton of it and it's lasted me a long time. I'm due for another one now though. I'm almost done. Any single time I have shimmer on my lid, 99.9% of the time, because one time I didn't, I use Too Faced glitter glue. I need to because I I do have hooded eyes. I mean, they're not extremely hooded, but when I open my eye like this, if I didn't have glitter glue on, this would transfer all the way up here. So pigments, glitter, shimmers, I always use a glitter glue, and I love this stuff. It's really changed. Otherwise, I used to get huge creasing and transfer. It would drive me bananas. And I do use the Urban Decay. I just bought a new one, and now I know that this is because I go through a sickening amount of these. I used to be able to find it in the pro size, which was huge, but when I do my swatch videos and stuff, I go through a lot of this. But this is what I wear underneath. I don't like those kind of thicker paint pot ones because they really blank out my whole eye, and they're dry, and I find that it starts skipping, and they end up drying up and peeling back from the pot way quicker than I can use the whole thing. And I don't really like to carve out my brows or anything like that. That's just not my cup of tea, but if you do, you might want something that has a little more coverage. But I love the Urban Decay Shadow Primer. Again, it's not very slippery. It's like a nice mix between dry and slippery. Next up is what I'm wearing on my lips today. I wear this combo often. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is in Berry, one of my favorites. And then I also have, I wear this at night. I wear this during the day. I'll put a lip liner on, and then I'll just fill this on. It leaves my lips feeling nice. I can eat, and I don't get stuff smeared all over my face, which I appreciate. And then this is my all-time favorite lip liner. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. This has lasted a very long time, but the color is beautiful. It goes on nice and smooth. It doesn't skip or pull or tug on my lips, and it stays put. Love that one. Next up is the Fresh Dream. This is the Sugar Advanced Therapy. This one does not have SPF in it, so it's not going to give you that weird taste. Some of their lip products do. I like it that this cap screws on, so I can throw these in my purse, which this one has been in my purse. I have several of these. I have one in my, this is almost done, so I'll be getting a new one of these. I keep one in my little lip box. It's right there that has like lip glosses and things like this in there. And then I keep one in my purse. This isn't something I'd really wear to bed because it does have a nice light pink tint to it. I feel like this color will be complimentary on everybody's lips. It's just really nice. It's hydrating. It feels good, and it gives like this your lips but better tint to it. I really enjoy it. And then the only one I'm missing right now is Fussy because that's in one of my bags. But I would get one of the Fenty Gloss Bombs. It's a peach vanilla scent. You get a large applicator for one swipe coverage if you need it. Out of all of them, I would get Fussy first, then I would get the Fenty Glow, then I would get the Diamond Milk just because I do prefer to have a little bit of tint. I prefer pink or rose. Next, you guys have heard me talk about this lipstick. This is like a $55 lipstick, but it's my all-time favorite. This is Tom Ford's Flame Matte Lipsticks. His matte formula is one of my all-time favorite, and this is not a color I would have picked on my own because it's an orange-based red, which I typically wouldn't care for. I saw a sales associate wearing this one day, and I was like, what are you wearing on your lips? I have to have it, and it was this, and I love these. The packaging is very luxurious. It's very heavy. Again, to me, that's something that, like, while I like packaging, I would prefer to have the money in the product than in the packaging. I don't really care because I don't care if I'm being seen in public putting this on. I don't care. But the matte formula is stunning on this. It wears very evenly. It doesn't give you those weird mad dog lips from the inside there. I can eat a meal and I still have this on instead of that drying feeling that I get from a liquid matte lipstick typically. I don't get it with this, which I love it. Now, those are extremely expensive. Don't buy too many at a time because they do turn fairly quickly. So, like, buy one or two at a time if you're going to wear them often, and then you can switch off between the two. But the Flame is my favorite, and that's the one that I recommend. Now, next, the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipsticks. Again, only his matte formulas. I don't like the Boys Collection. I don't like his typical standard formula. Charlotte Tilbury's Matte Revolution lipstick. Charlotte Tilbury used to help formulate for Tom Ford. So these two formulas are extremely similar in wear, and I like them. This one is a lot less expensive than this one though, so you're not gonna get the same color selection, but whatever floats your boat. Next up is nighttime skincare, and then that will really be it. So first, you guys know I can't function without a cleansing balm to take off my makeup, especially when I have stuff like this on. I don't wanna go in, just like with foaming, I wanna go in with something that I can kind of change into a liquid and then, or like an oil, and rub all over my face. And it's so easy to take it off with a washcloth and then go on with my Clarisonic, which is my favorite way. My two favorite are the Pharmacy Green Clean. This one is a little more what I would call waxy and less oily. Some people prefer that kind of consistency. And this one is the Drunk Elephant. Again, I think it's called Slay. This is their makeup removing balm. This one has a little click on the top. This one had a little scoop in it too, I believe, on the top. This one's completely empty, so I do need a new one. If you can't tell, I really like both of these. This is the one I took with me while I was traveling. This one I'm almost done with too. This one is oilier, which I prefer in my dry skin. I don't mix that bamboo powder in with this or anything. I just prefer to use it as is. So again, depending on which one of those suits your needs best. And then they no longer make this Clarisonic. I think this was called the Smart Profile. They've completely changed up their lineup of products. I have this because I'm not going to buy the new one, but I can't live without my Clarisonic. I have to wash my face with this just because, again, the kind of makeup I'm wearing is not like a one cleanse, a simple cleanse with a washcloth and it's off. I need something that's getting down in there. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times. You just want the bristles to make contact with your skin. If you're pushing like this and the bristles are splaying, you are pressing too hard and you will damage your skin. You will get broken capillaries. You will irritate your skin. I only use these with the sensitive brush heads on there. And again, just contact and go in the zones. I love this. I can't live without it. And then with that, I would get to the Youth to the People Kale and Green Tea Spinach Vitamins Age Prevention Cleanser. This brand and their names are intense. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, who comes up with, like, I'm going to list every single thing that's in the product and that's going to be part of the name. I love this line in general. I'm yet to really try anything from there that I don't like. It is a glass bottle. If you are clumsy in your bathroom, you're going to want to be careful of that. I prefer glass bottles because they're a little more substantial, and I like it that it's in a pump. It's easy to get out. I don't have to, like, dump anything out or squeeze anything. I really like that. It's a nice gentle cleanser. It didn't strip my acid mantle or anything on my face. You guys have heard me talk about these products again a million times if you've been watching my videos for any length of time. I'm going to have a little lip gloss break. I'm chugging water while I was in Europe. I got addicted to Nespressos. Like, not espressos, like the Nespresso machines. And when I found out here that they recycle all the pods, I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. So there's a little boutique next to me. I get the little recycling bags and I just send them back. But I'm all like amped up because I worked earlier today and I'm tired. I've had like 3 Nespressos, so I feel like I'm just sweating sitting here. So I'm like, oh, time to drink some water. Now let's talk about 3 exfoliators. Again, do not get all of these and certainly don't use them all at once, even if you want multiple ones, because your skin will get raw, tender, dry, peeling, one acid at a time, okay? So when I say hyaluronic acid, that's a moisturizing acid. When I say vitamin C, that's an ascorbic acid. That is not an exfoliating acid. Something that is an AHA or a BHA is going to exfoliate your face. And there's another one too. You don't want to stack them or layer them, so look at your face washes, because I used a wash one time that I just literally took out of the box. I was so tired. I was like, oh, let me try this. I briefly had glanced over the ingredients, like the top few, and I had used it and it had an acid in there. And then I went on with an acid after that, and my skin was just in a dry place. It did not bode well for me. So pay attention to what is in your products and make sure if they will play nice when it comes to that. Now, the one that has been my all-time favorite that I've talked about for a long time, this is the Tarte Tingling Knockout Treatment. If you have extremely sensitive skin, probably not for you. First couple times I used this, I turned red as a tomato, which I'm used to pretty aggressive acids. This has acetic acid in there as their preservative, which is apple cider vinegar, and it smells like that. It does not smell good, but I don't care because it doesn't have a drying alcohol in here. I'd rather have something like that. The smell dissipates, and what it does for your skin is amazing. Again, if you have sensitive skin, not for you. I would try to get a sample and test patch along your jaw first before you put it on your whole face. Being red and tingly is normal. And it doesn't do that for me anymore. But if you're using one of these, make sure that you are using sunscreen all the time, and be careful with, for me, if I use this and then like prescription strength retinol, oh God. So if you're using an over-the-counter one, you should be fine. Mixing the two, unless it's like different gel or something that you can now get without a prescription at the pharmacy. But be careful. Again, listen to your skin. Add one product at a time and see how the results are going. If you add 50 new things at once, you will have no idea what is causing the problem, and it will be very frustrating. This one is lactic acid, and I believe salicylic acid in here too. That's going to help clear out your pores. So salicylic is a BHA. It's the only oil-soluble acid, exfoliating acid, and then AHAs are water soluble. So BHA is going to be better for oily skin, and if you have like clogged pores, blackheads, which is basically just oxidized sebum in your pore, this will help with all of that. The next one I like is the Algenist Genius Ultimate Biphase Peel. This one is a glycolic. It is mixed with an oil though in here, which makes this more gentle and acceptable on my skin. You have to shake it. You're gonna put it on a cotton pad. Some cotton pads come in here. You're gonna leave this on, what does it say, 10 minutes? It says 3 to 5, I leave it on 10 minutes. Put it on my face, and then I splash my face with water. You will get that like kind of freeze frame because of the oil in here. Oil and water don't mix, so it kind of feels like slow-mo when you hit your face with the water. But again, it feels very nice. It leaves my skin feeling nice, not dry, anything like that. So again, I enjoy that. And they're based out of San Francisco, which is kind of like a tech area. So they're like a biotech company, and I find a decent amount of their products interesting. Next up would be the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow. I like this. This is a lactic acid as well, and it goes on really nice on the skin. A lot of people have asked me why I don't use Sunday Riley Good Genes anymore. It's not because that's not an excellent product, because it is an excellent product. I used it for years, and people have said, what happened to that? You used to say you could pry that out of my cold dead hands. Well, that's true, because at the time that was the best lactic acid I have tried. This came along. There's another one that's like has a cult following. You can only get it from certain spas, and it is fairly expensive. This one came along and replaced that one for me, which I still like the other one, but I like this especially. I like the cost a lot better, and this one I prefer the cost better too as well, and I'm getting the same results, so it's like I'm not going to spend that extra amount of money on there. And this one is Pharmacy as a brand, I like a lot of their products, so it's easier just for me to keep sticking with that. Now I'm going to get into products that are kind of acting like a retinol. Now this is, if you are sensitive to retinols, this will be a good alternative to you. This is the Belief Peat Miracle Revital Serum. This will help gently exfoliate. It's going to help cellular turnover, which is basically what retinol does, without the irritation that you could get from retinol. So if you are sensitive to retinols, I would give this a go. Ask for a sample and try it on. That is vegan, no animal derived products in here. Now are two more interesting products to me, newer to me. This is the Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Retinol Sleeping Mask. The avocado in here is really soothing. The retinol is really nice in here. It does come in jar packaging, which is not my favorite. As we've talked about, you do get a little scoop in here. It literally looks like a mushed up avocado. I don't find the smell overpowering. I like this. Make sure you're putting the lid back on nice and tight on here. I do like it that it comes with a spoon that you can dig in. I always clean my spoon off at the end, so you're not dipping more contamination in here. And then also they came out with an eye sleeping mask as well that has retinol in it as well, which I like. Some people are really sensitive to retinols. I would bring it up all around my orbital bone, and I was actually bringing retinol up on my eyelid skin because that's where, when you start to age too, it can get crepey. I love both of these products. These were surprising to me because, again, jar packaging is not my favorite, but I really like the performance of these products, and I've had no complaints about them. Remember, if you've been out snowboarding, skiing, you've been out in the elements, your skin is really dry, you're gonna probably wanna avoid acids and probably retinols in general. So again, listen to your skin. If your skin feels dry, especially like raw around the crack of like that fold in your chin around your nose, you should be avoiding prescription strength retinols anyway, avoiding those areas anyway, but listen to your skin and what it needs. Now I'm going to get into some of my staples that I have every videos. The Sunday Riley Juno. This is one of my favorite oils. This is the only oil in their line that has no essential oils in there, so it should not irritate anybody. I've said it a million times, it smells like oregano, like pizza. I don't care. The glow this gives to my face, I have not been able to replicate with any other oil I've ever tried. I love this. It used to be $90. They dropped the price down to $72 because they were able to source it differently, and she passed the savings along to the customers, which I appreciate. And next, I just bought a new one of these because I did not know that this event was coming up. This is the Fresh Sea Berry Moisturizing Face Oil. I've talked about this a million times. This is my holy grail moisturizer. It has changed my dry skin, where I used to have dry, flaky patches on top of just, you know, the rest of my skincare routine. The sea berry oil, I feel like it's a good price for how much product you're getting. This does have a light peppery scent to it, like finish. And then the Bleach True Cream Moisturizing Balm is my all-time favorite moisturizer. I've tried like almost $1,000 moisturizers down to inexpensive moisturizers. This one is not what I would describe as expensive compared to that spectrum. $38 was the regular price for this. It has comfrey leaf extract in here, which I really attribute to helping my skin. It's an ancient, it was something that they used to use on like wounds and burns. Then people were ingesting it, so it became outlawed in a lot of countries because people were getting sick because they were overdoing it. Topically though, you should not have any problems. Again, the packaging looks exactly the same for this and their it says their Aqua Bomb. Packaging is exactly the same. I wish that they would change the box to a different color and the jar to a different color. The way that you would be able to tell even on the samples is when you open it, this should be white. The Aqua Bomb will be a blue gel. That's best for people with oily skin. It does not provide enough moisture for my skin. Alcohol is too high up in there. It irritates my already dry skin. I love this moisturizer and I cannot live without it. It's beautiful. I take a dollop of that on the back of my hand, 3 little drops, not dropper fills, droppers of the Fresh Sea Berry Oil. I mix it around and spread it on my face. My face just drinks it in now. It used to look like a grease ball when my skin was like adjusting to be able to accept that moisture, but now I love it. I can't live without it. If they ever stop making that moisturizer, I will cry. Like, I'm not kidding. I feel like it's one of those things, I know that sounds dramatic, but no, I will cry. And if you have extremely dry and sensitive skin, this Adaptogen Deep Moisture Cream, it has some mushroom extracts in here. It will really help, again, very sensitive and dry skin. I love this product. And again, in the colder months when you have forced heat on and like, it's dry, I would definitely pick some more moisturizing products. Actually, the only thing on my list that I want to get new are the Givenchy lipsticks, so I'm going to be picking up some of those. So I'd love to hear what you guys are going to get. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time.